Picture this scene. You've just had a blow-up with a friend, and they come back with, "I'm sorry," but there's a catch. It feels hollow, lacking the warmth of genuine remorse and leaving you with more irritation than consolation. That's the thing about apologies, they're not all crafted with the same intention. In the delicate interaction of human connections, a heartfelt "I'm sorry" can work wonders. It has the power to mend wounds, connect divides, and bring balance back into the relationship. It's a balm for the soul which, when applied with the hands of honesty, can mend the fragile fabric of trust that's been frayed by careless actions or words. But what if that balm is just a facade? Welcome to the world of the pseudo-apology, a crafty string of words that poses as remorse but is devoid of its essence. In this territory, words are empty. Responsibility is dodged, and instead of soothing, these words can actually add insult to injury. The fallout of such apologies is far-reaching. They chip away at trust, stir up bitterness, and can leave lasting emotional gouges. Today we're going to navigate the murky waters of insincere apologies. We'll dissect the 10 telltale signs that the apology you've been given might be about as authentic as Monopoly money. This isn't simply about unmasking dishonesty. It's about equipping you with the insight to insist on the emotional transparency you're entitled to, and to discern the hallmarks of a truly heartfelt apology. So strap in, because we're set to arm you with the knowledge to detect a phony apology, empowering you to hold on to the respect and sincerity you deserve in your relationships. Number 10, vague and unspecific. Starting off with the basics, think of a genuine apology as a surgeon's precise stitch, accurate, precise, and designed to close up an open wound. When someone is sincerely apologetic, they zero in on their exact misstep. You'll hear something like, "I'm sorry for talking over you in today's meeting. It was out of line, and I completely get why you felt ignored." Did you catch the precision there? It's an outright acknowledgement of the specific deed and its repercussions. On the other hand, a disingenuous apology is like slapping a Band-Aid on a wound without first cleaning it. It might cover the problem, but it does little to truly heal it. It's often shrouded in generalities such as, "I'm sorry for whatever made you mad," or "I'm sorry if things came across the wrong way." This lack of detail is a warning sign. It shows a hesitation to fully admit to the precise behavior that led to the upset. It's almost as if the person is saying, "I'll apologize, but I'm not going to be specific about what for." Why is this important? Detail in an apology reveals that the individual has taken a moment to ponder their actions and grasps the fallout of what they've done. It's an essential stride toward mending trust because it displays a recognition not just that you're hurt, but of their role in that hurt. Without this component, the apology is superficial and fails to prevent a recurrence of the issue. So when an "I'm sorry" is floating without any real substance, it's a cue to dig deeper for the sincerity that should be embedded in a genuine apology. Number 9. The ifs and buts of apologies. Moving on to the subtly corrosive role of conditional phrases in apologies. When you hear, "I'm sorry if you felt bad," or "I'm sorry but you need to see my side of things," it's as though a small, sly language starts to erode the foundation of the apology. These conditional terms, if and but, serve as escape hatches that imply the apology comes with strings attached, often tied to the feelings or reactions of the aggrieved party. The use of if signals doubt. Doubt about whether there was any fault at all. Doubt about whether the hurt was justified. It offloads the blame onto the reaction of the person on the receiving end, rather than on the act of the one apologizing. This shift in blame can leave the wronged individual feeling invalidated, second-guessing their own feelings, but usually pivots the conversation away from the apology itself, leading down the path of justification or even excuses. It suggests that the real point is about to follow, often a defense of the behavior or a reciprocal accusation. This doesn't just dilute the original apology. It can actually amplify the conflict by making the other person feel further affronted or sidelined. Authentic apologies don't rely on these qualifiers. They are declarations, not preludes to justifications or shifting the blame. They demand a level of raw honesty and ownership that the ifs and buts try to dodge. So when an if or a but creeps into an apology, take notice. Number 8, redirecting fault. The essence of a heartfelt apology lies in taking full responsibility. It's a demonstration of stepping forward and accepting your role in the harm done. However, a glaring sign of an apology lacking authenticity is when the individual starts to deflect blame, redirecting the spotlight from their missteps. You may have encountered such disingenuous apologies like, "I regret that you're upset, but you're too sensitive," or "I'm sorry I lost my cool, but had you not pushed my buttons it wouldn't have come to this." These statements reveal a reluctance to embrace full accountability. Instead of owning their behavior, the individual is handing the responsibility over to you or the situation. It's their way of saying, "Regrettably, an incident occurred. but I'm not the sole one to blame. This tactic of fault redirection not only weakens the apology but often exacerbates the emotional sting. It places the burden of the incident back on the aggrieved, leading to frustration and feelings of invalidation. It can even cause the hurt party to feel compelled to argue their stance, shifting focus from the apology and healing to self-defense. A sincere apology leaves no room for the word "but" after "I'm sorry." The one at fault acknowledges their lapse without casting blame elsewhere. They recognize that the act of apologizing is about conceding the fault and expressing genuine remorse, not rationalizing their error. When blame enters the dialogue, it usually indicates an unwillingness to fully bear the weight of their actions. Only when blame is removed from the narrative can true restoration in the relationship commence, centered on proper amends for the wrongdoing. Number 7, repetition of the mistake. A profound sign of a disingenuous apology is the recurrent nature of the offending conduct. If someone expresses regret for being late to a significant occasion but repeatedly fails to arrive on time thereafter, the message is clear. The initial apology was superficial, lacking real intent to change. An apology inherently carries a pledge, a commitment to learn and avoid repeating the error. When the transgression recurs, it nullifies that pledge, signaling the prior apology was for show. This pattern of erring and apologizing chips away at trust. With each successive apology for a repeated mistake, the words become more hollow. It's the proverbial boy who cried wolf. Belief in the sincerity fades. Trust in relationships is built on steadfastness, consistent actions, consistent respect, and a consistent honoring of one's word. A disparity between actions and words points to a disregard for the injured party and a lack of dedication to the relationship. While it's human to falter occasionally and true that altering behavioral patterns can be challenging, the effort and progress made are telling. Is there genuine endeavor to transform? Are concrete steps being taken to prevent reiteration of the fault? Or is "I'm sorry" being recited without actual behavioral change? A true apology is a juncture for introspection and betterment. If it instead becomes a temporary fix before the next infringement, it's likely the initial apology was nothing more than a facade. Thus, actions will invariably speak louder than words. Persistent misbehavior post-apology loudly broadcasts insincerity, a sign that can't be overlooked for those seeking genuine and truthful relationships. Number 6, overplaying intentions. Intentions are often used as a defensive shield in many non-apologies. When someone asserts, "I didn't intend to cause harm," they might be placing undue emphasis on their motives rather than on the consequences of their actions. While intentions are relevant to understanding behavior, they do not absolve one from the outcomes of their actions. An apology fixated on intentions rather than the actual incident can marginalize the feelings of the injured party. A meaningful apology acknowledges the damage inflicted as more critical than the intention behind it. There's a clear distinction between "I'm sorry if I inadvertently stepped on your toe" and "I'm sorry for stepping on your toe. I realize that caused you pain." The first is an excuse. The second is an admission of the inflicted pain, intention notwithstanding. Focusing on intentions can be a covert method of dodging responsibility. It suggests that unintentional harm is less severe or unworthy of an apology. Belittling the injured person's feelings and making them feel their distress is being ignored. Often, when someone accentuates their benign intentions, it is as much about self-assurance as it is about mollifying the person they've hurt. It helps them preserve their self-perception as a good person rather than confronting the unpleasant truth that their actions led to someone else's distress regardless of their intentions. An authentically conveyed apology acknowledges both intent and impact. It conveys an understanding that even if harm wasn't meant, it occurred and needs to be addressed. This balance is vital for the apology to be genuine, paving the way for healing and forgiveness. Without recognizing the impact, an apology remains incomplete, and the apologizer fails to entirely accept their role in the situation. Number 5, body language mismatch. Apologies involve more than just words. They are also communicated through physical expression. When someone's body language doesn't match their spoken apology, it can indicate a lack of sincerity. Eye contact, facial expressions, posture, and gestures are among the nonverbal signals that can reveal true feelings. For example, a person may verbally express regret, but avoiding eye contact can imply a lack of engagement or honesty. Defensive postures or turned bodies might signal a reluctance to fully address the issue. Authentic remorse is often accompanied by an open stance, direct eye contact, and a genuine expression of regret. Facial expressions can also be revealing. A true apology typically matches the seriousness of the situation, without inappropriate smiles or smirks, which can imply insincerity. Genuine gestures, like open hands or a comforting touch, can enhance the authenticity of an apology, while closed or fidgety gestures might indicate discomfort or insincerity. Body language should be interpreted within its context, taking into account cultural differences and individual behaviors. Nevertheless, a consistent mismatch between what is said and the accompanying body language can be a strong indication of an insincere apology. Number 4, pressuring for forgiveness. A true apology is offered without expectation, understanding that forgiveness is a process that cannot be forced. When an apology includes pressure for immediate forgiveness, it might be more about the apologizer's discomfort than addressing the hurt caused. Statements like, "Can we just move past this?" or "I said I'm sorry, what more do you want?" can invalidate the complexity of emotions involved and attempt to expedite resolution without true understanding. Pressuring for forgiveness can also be a control tactic, shifting the focus from the apologizer's actions to the recipient's response, thereby minimizing the initial offense. Forgiveness is a choice that the hurt party should make in their own time, not an entitlement for the wrongdoer. An apology that demands forgiveness loses authenticity and can feel self-serving. Number 3, using apologies as manipulation. Apologies should signify regret and an understanding of the harm caused, not serve as a manipulative tool. When apologies are used to control or influence, they become insincere. This manipulation can involve silencing further discussion, using apologies as a means to an end, or repeatedly apologizing without changing behavior. Manipulative apologies might also aim to shift the perception of the situation, portraying the apologizer as a victim and the person hurt as unreasonable. A genuine apology is characterized by vulnerability and a commitment to change, whereas a manipulative apology is a strategic action aimed at benefiting the apologizer, not repairing the harm done. Recognizing when an apology is used manipulatively is crucial for maintaining healthy and honest relationships. Number 2, public versus private apologies. The sincerity of an apology can often be discerned by the context in which it is offered. Public apologies, especially those made in the spotlight or on social media, may be driven more by the desire to protect one's reputation rather than express genuine remorse. Such apologies may seem calculated, timed to quell public backlash, or lacking in personal warmth and understanding. They can sometimes serve as a performative act, designed more for the benefit of the audience rather than the wronged party. In contrast, private apologies are usually given without the external influence of an audience's scrutiny. They are typically more personal and allow for a genuine exchange between the parties involved. These apologies can delve into the specifics of the situation, are more likely to include a detailed acknowledgement of the wrongdoing, and tend to demonstrate a clear intent to reconcile and repair the relationship for its own sake. However, some instances necessitate a public apology, especially when the harm done has a public aspect or affects a community. In such cases, a sincere public apology should ideally be paired with private apologies to those directly affected, ensuring that the public act is not merely for show. Number 1, inaction towards reconciliation. The most telling indicator of a genuine apology is the effort to make amends. True apologies extend beyond words and are characterized by actions aimed at rectifying the wrong and healing the relationship. When someone truly understands the hurt they have caused, they are moved to actively address it, whether that means returning something, compensating for a loss, investing time to rebuild trust, or changing behavior. A lack of effort to make amends indicates a superficial apology. Words may sound sincere, but without follow-up actions, they fail to demonstrate true remorse. In some cases, individuals might offer excuses for not making amends or downplay the need for reparative actions, indicating a reluctance to take full responsibility for their actions. Making amends is not always a quick process. It can require time and sustained effort. Therefore, a heartfelt apology is not just an immediate expression of regret, but a long-term commitment to change and to do better, aligning future actions with the initial words of apology. Recognizing fake apologies is crucial in fostering honest relationships and ensuring emotional integrity. Apologies should embody genuine remorse, consistent actions, and a willingness to understand and address the harm caused. When apologies lack these qualities, they can further damage trust and the possibility for true reconciliation. In the face of insincere apologies, it's important to uphold one's self-respect and advocate for a genuine resolution. This means acknowledging the apology while also expressing the need for further conversation and actions that demonstrate true remorse and understanding. Understanding these 10 indicators empowers individuals to discern genuine apologies from insincere ones, fostering healthier and more authentic connections. It also underscores the value of sincere apologies in healing and reconciliation, emphasizing that words must be met with corresponding actions to fully restore trust and mend relationships.